Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. Are you just absolutely exhausted by the constant, heavy pressure to be more successful, more attractive, more productive, just, more of everything? Like you somehow need a 5 a.m. ice bath just to be a functioning human being? Well, today we are breaking down author Mark Manson's incredibly counterintuitive ideas that challenge our modern hustle culture and this exhausting trap of toxic positivity. It's a conceptual slap in the face we all kind of need right now, and by the end of this, you'll see exactly why. Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got a great roadmap today. We'll start with the positivity trap, look at something called mental currency, peel back the awareness onion, explore the power of choice, talk about embracing uncertainty, and finally, face the ultimate deadline.
So part one, the positivity trap. It's all about this endless trap of chasing more.
Mark Manson points out this really wild paradox. Basically, the intense desire for a more positive experience is, paradoxically, a negative experience in itself. And actually accepting a negative experience, well, that's positive. Think about it. When we're constantly fixating on our shortcomings, always striving to be better, and frantically pushing away anything that feels bad, we aren't actually moving forward at all. We're just trapping ourselves in this exhausting, endless cycle of stress and self-blame.
And this brilliantly illustrates what philosopher Alan Watts called the law of reverse effort. He basically observed that the harder we try to feel better, the worse we actually end up feeling. It's crazy, right? Any attempt to escape the negative, whether you're avoiding it, hiding from it, trying to silence it, it completely backfires. Avoiding suffering is literally its own form of suffering. When we constantly coddle ourselves from the inevitable discomforts of life, we just disconnect from reality entirely. So it turns out, trying not to care so much about achieving this perfect, flawless life might actually be the secret to living a genuinely good one.
Moving on to Section 2, mental currency. This is all about managing your energy.
I absolutely love this concept. Think of your daily energy and attention like a finite allowance of mental coins. You wake up every single day with a set amount. Every time you worry about, say, looking perfectly attractive, or you agonize over how many likes a post got, or you're stressing over some random comment a coworker made, boom, you just spent a coin. And here is the harsh reality check for us all. Once those coins are spent, you can never, ever get them back. So, I've got to ask, how are you spending your daily allowance? Things like endlessly comparing yourself to other people, stressing out over things totally outside your control, or seeking superficial validation, these completely drain your coins. They leave you totally bankrupt for the stuff that actually matters. On the flip side, we have the true investments, right? Your family, close friends, genuine passions. What are you spending your precious coins on today? Are those everyday anxieties and comparisons truly worth the expenditure of your limited currency?
All right, Section 3, the awareness onion. We're peeling back the layers.
Now, what's really interesting about how we build self-awareness is that it can be broken down into these tangible, kind of uncomfortable layers. We have to actively peel them back to find the core values that truly dictate the quality of our lives. The outer layer, layer 1, is pretty simple. It's just recognizing your emotions, like saying, hey, I feel angry. Layer 2 goes a bit deeper, questioning why you feel them. I'm angry because I failed at this project. But layer 3, that's the deepest and absolutely most critical layer. This is where you uncover your personal core values. These are the underlying metrics you use to actually define what failure even means to you. If your core values are flawed, well, your entire perspective is flawed. To really grasp just how powerful these core values are, consider the intense historical case of Japanese Lieutenant Hiroo Onoda. After World War II ended back in 1945, Onoda actually spent 30 years fighting in the Philippine jungle. He completely refused to believe the war was over. For 3 decades, he lived in unimaginable hardship. We're talking enduring bugs, starvation, extreme isolation. But his immense suffering was endurable. To him, why? Because it was intimately tied to his deep personal values of loyalty and honor to his empire. It gave his struggle profound meaning. But here's the kicker. When he was finally found and brought home to Japan in 1974, something shocking happened. Back in a safe, comfortable, modern society, he became deeply depressed. Without his values and his mission, his life entirely lost its meaning. It really proves that we can endure incredible suffering as long as it's tied to values we deeply, genuinely care about.
Which brings us to Section 4, the power of choice, taking responsibility. This all starts by wrapping our heads around one absolutely crucial distinction: fault versus responsibility. In our culture today, it is so easy to blur these lines. But look, fault keeps you stuck entirely in the past. It's all about casting blame, feeling powerless, and just embracing victimhood.
Responsibility, on the other hand, is firmly grounded in the present. It's about taking action, finding solutions, and stepping into personal empowerment. Listen, a terrible situation or event might not be your fault at all, not even a little bit. But it is always your absolute responsibility to figure out how you're going to handle it and move forward.
And this concept isn't just some theoretical fluff. Take the incredibly inspiring story of the 19th century psychologist William James. He was plagued by these severe, crippling feelings of depression and failure. To survive it, he conducted a profound one-year experiment on himself. He decided for exactly 1 year to take radical, uncompromising responsibility for absolutely everything in his life. No excuses, no exceptions. He literally called the result a rebirth. By abandoning that victim mentality and taking total ownership of how he responded to the world, he completely cured his depression and totally transformed his mindset. It's a real game changer.
Let's move to Section 5, embracing uncertainty, because the unknown is where growth happens.
If you ever doubt how incredibly flawed our certainties can be, take the shocking story of a journalist named Meredith. During therapy in the 1980s, she uncovered what she firmly believed to be a deeply repressed memory of abuse by her father. She confronted her family, and it completely tore them apart. But a decade later, she came to a devastating realization. The memory was entirely false. It had been literally constructed in her mind during therapy. This extreme story is a pretty sobering warning that our brains regularly reshape memories based on our current beliefs. The absolute pursuit of certainty, of rigidly holding on to what we think we know, is actually the enemy of growth. To grow, we really have to get comfortable admitting we might be totally wrong about things.
And embracing that uncertainty absolutely changes how we approach our daily goals. Society usually tells us, hey, you need to feel motivated before you do something. But this model flips that completely upside down. Step 1 is actually to take action. Even if you're uncertain and have no clue what you're doing, just do something. Step 2 is feeling the emotional response from making that effort. Step 3 is generating new ideas from that experience, which finally leads to Step 4, discovering the actual motivation to keep going. You don't sit around waiting for motivation to strike. You embrace the struggle, take action first, and let your small, uncertain failures fuel your forward progress.
And finally, let's see how this all builds to Section 6, the ultimate deadline, accepting mortality.
We are talking about the terror of death. This is a brilliant theory by anthropologist Ernest Becker. He argued that human beings are entirely unique because we have a deep, conscious awareness of our own mortality, and that existential terror actually drives almost everything we do. It pushes us to create what he called immortality projects. Mastering a skill, raising a family, leaving a legacy that's going to outlive us. But here's the thing. Accepting the inevitability of our death isn't about sinking into some dark existential despair. Not at all. Rather, it is the ultimate psychological tool. It literally forces us to strip away all the superficial nonsense, the false values, the desperate need for constant validation, so we can finally zero in on what actually matters. Which leaves us with this final, truly profound question for you. What will you leave behind? And how will the world be different because you were in it? Because when you truly accept that your time and your daily mental coins are strictly limited, you stop caring about the trivial things that drain you. You start taking responsibility, you embrace the struggle, and you focus your energy on what gives your life genuine meaning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I'm going to leave you to ponder exactly how you are going to spend your coins tomorrow. See you next time.